sparky. Okay, so we are building the double reversible wine glass. And it's not a matter of if we can build it, it's should we build it. All right, we got this going. All right, let's separate. Got a little clear. And good to go. Okay, so first things first, we're going to pop some uranium in here. So tonight we're doing the double-sided wine glass. Think of it as an hourglass for wine. One side will be red wine, the other side will be your white wine. So depending on which end you have flipped up, this glass will work for both. Kind of like the dyslexic glass for people. All right, so we got a little clear nubby here. We're going to go ahead and grab our uranium. We're going to start by doing some uranium in this tonight. And then we'll add some electrum. And we're going to do red on one side, and I think amber purple on the other, with the uranium backing it. We'll see how it starts to look. I know the red and uranium should look good together. The electrum and the amber purple might go good too. Right now we're building up that uranium glass. The uranium is a blacklight reactive glass that will glow an intense green during a UV session. All right, so we got the uranium popped on. My little punty rod's cracking like crazy there, and that's okay. I think I need more uranium though. I thought that would be enough. It's apparently not. We're going to add another layer of it in here. And for the red, we're going to use a lighter red this time. This red is a very transparent. It's kind of like an orange red. It's got a little bit of an orange hue to it. It's called pomegranate. And it's a very cool color. So right now we're just building up the center marble, and then once we get the marble done, we'll take the two goblet cups and we'll assemble them one at a time, flipping them around, and hopefully this is kind of a cool glass. I've not built this before, and I was thinking about it today. I was like, it's not a matter of if I can build it, it's should I build it. Is this something that's goofy enough? All right, so we got our uranium added on here. We're going to grab our red and just start diving right into it. I'm going to grab the red here. This is the red pomegranate color. It's a beautiful transparent red. We're going to start applying it right now on top of the uranium. Like that. And then on the other side, we will build our electrum, which is like a liquid metal glass, and then put amber purple on top of that. And hopefully we get that beautiful amber purple shimmer with the electrum underneath it that makes it look very much like a, I don't know what to call it. It's almost like a muted mirror. But yeah. So the fun part about the red is that it does go completely transparent. We will absolutely lose its color at the beginning, and it will come back to red after we get done. and we're just applying it right now. So think of like an Oreo cookie. We're stacking color on top of each other. And that's exactly what I'm building right now. We're doing the stacks. Once we get the stacks built, we'll flatten this out into kind of like a little UFO shape, and I will create a spiral. So the wine glass in front of me has a little marble disc in the middle between the foot and the goblet cup. It's going to be the same concept, except this time we will have 2 cups on it. One gigantic one on the top and one smaller one down towards the bottom for white wine, and the red wine will be the gigantic version. And here we go. All right, so I'm running a little short on this red. We're going to attach a little extension on here. Getting a little shorty. All right, there we go. All right, we're going to finish up using this red rod. Then we're going to attach a punty rod to it, meaning a holding rod to this side. And we'll start building the other section. We'll flatten it out, give it that beautiful spiral, and fuse the 2 goblet cups on. Entire time of this process should be somewhere in the 30-minute range. I'll be showing you process in between, so you can kind of see the steps that we're taking to build that. It's going to be an amazing little goblet cup. I thought about building an hourglass in there, to be honest. What do you guys think? Should I build an hourglass version where like there's actual sand in the middle and 2 goblet cups, or a goblet cup that you can flip upside down, and then you have an hourglass in between your wine or your drink, whatever you want to call it? I thought that would be kind of neat. I think it would be cool. Batman villain? I like it. Danny, thank you for calling me a Batman villain. I appreciate that. Danny said I look like a Batman villain, and I like it. I have to admit, all during Star Wars, I always rooted for Darth Vader. So I can fit with that. I can dig that. Okay, so right here, you're going to see we got the red at this very end. The red is the super hot right at the end glowing. And then right after that, we have uranium glass popping in there. And then we got a layer of clear on the third. And we're going to reverse this holding rod to the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and stack the next set of colors on here. The next 2 colors are 2 of my favorites of all time. One is called Electrum, and the other is called Amber Purple, both of which are an amazing set of colors. And I can't wait to get this built. If anything, just to see the actual marble in between. And there we go. So we're running about 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit right now on the torch. Torch is running approximately 4,000 degrees. Give or take a few hundred here or there. It depends on how much I'm pushing it. I do have a couple 100-degree flexibility. Kind of play with it. Okay, right about here, we're going to go ahead and start separating the rod I'm tapping my finger on. And we kind of got this little cone shape. We're going to bring it out and go ahead and smooth it down a little bit. In other words, shrink it. Then we're going to add that metallic glass to it. And then the amber purple on top of that. But right now I have to focus on getting this down. Should be a pretty amazing marble by itself when it's done. And I got both goblet cups prepared, so we don't have to worry about making those. We can just go right to the assembly right off the bat. And we're fully shrunk down. We're looking good. And I just want to make sure we're no bubbles. We're already good. So right now there are 3 different colors, if you will, stacked in there. I always consider clear a color, even though it's clear, but I always call it a color. It's a layer. Then we're going to take this liquid metal glass and fuse it on right now. And I'm spinning it up and pushing it in a little bit. As you do that, it does spread the color out widthwise. Oh, I just trapped a little bit right there. Nope. All right, got to go a little bit more. Got a little bobble spot. All right, we're going to go ahead and separate it again without the fail. There we go. And I'm going to grab my next color, which is going to be the clear. We're going to layer it on just a little. Then we'll go straight into the amber purple, which is an amazing color changing glass. Think of it as a tie-dye glass. It very much looks like a tie-dye color. Muted though. No reds, no yellows. But very organic. All right, here we go. We're going to layer on the clear. Now, I don't want the marble to be gigantic. I don't want it to overpower the glasses or the 2 cups. So we're just going to build up all the way out here. And again, there is a wine glass in front of me. That completed wine glass is kind of how this project will go, except on the foot where the wine glass is sitting on the bench. Instead of a flat foot, we will be adding a smaller wine cup to it. So again, you could flip it to either side, depending on your flavor of wine or drink or whatever you want, Kool-Aid. You can even put Mountain Dew in it. I think John had mentioned earlier, Mountain Dew. So you can even park that in there. Okay, we got our little layer of clear. And so far so good. Let me grab the shield. I haven't done that in a while. And remind me to show you the goblet, the chain goblet. I did add a special coating to it. The special coating is an iridized look on top of the gold fume, and it turned it purple. All right, so this is what my glasses are made of. This little combination right there, and you can see as I'm bringing it in, the flame kind of disappears a little. You can see up in the top portion where it's hitting up at the top, kind of disappears. That's how I can see everything of what I'm doing. The lenses are made of that same exact material. All right, got the clear, we got uranium, we got red, clear, electrum. Time for my favorite, which is the amber purple. And here we go. It looks very, very transparent until we get it super hot and molten and melted. All that fun stuff. The glasses are 100% not needed. Oh, yes, they are. Hi, Phyllis. How are you? I'm good. What's going on? Uh-huh.
And I finally convinced him to come up and see if we could find you.
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm live right now.
Well,
Yeah, we're live on YouTube.
Hi.
So here we go. And we are adding our amber purple on right now. We're going to layer it on. Here we go. So this will be like 5 colors bouncing through it. We're going to flip it, reverse it, create a little bit of a spiral, and we'll have the double-ended wine goblet. And we just have to fuse this in. Now the trippy part about this color is as it starts to cool, it's going to look pretty amazing. And here we go. I'm actually going to have to fuse this whole thing in there. We're going to need it all. Nope, don't need the electrum on there. Okay, we're going to grip it here, attach, and fuse. All right, let's get this whole thing built up. We won't be too far off. Promise it's going to look good. I can already see the electrum doing its thing. We're actually burning up an entire stick of amber purple on here. This is going to be pretty amazing. And we're almost there. And that's it. So that's all the color we're going to be adding to this. Got a really good setup going here. So we got 5 colors bouncing through here. I know they're very difficult to see right now, but they are present. And when I get this kind of flipped around and rounded out, you'll definitely start to see it. Let me move these out of the way. We're going to need a bigger marble mold because this one is not going to cut it. Because of course, in traditional Fiery Guy fashion, I made it too big. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and heat it up, squish it down a little. We're going to get that UFO shape. We're going to flip the sides, and then we're going to create a spiral. I can't wait to see these colors all melted in here. And we're going to squish it down very easy, nice and gentle. There we go. There's that UFO shape I was saying. It kind of looks like a little like a UFO, right? We're about 5 to 7 minutes off of turning it into the full wine glass here. We're not very far off. We're pretty close. So if you stuck around this long, it would be very much worth it to stick around for a little while longer. Because the assembly part's where it gets crazy. I do have to park that right there. We're going to burn it off. We just have to flatten it a little bit on this side to blend it with the other. I got to remove just a tiny little bit of excess glass up here. Just a little bit. And there we go. Okay, so now we got this. I just have to flatten this out a tiny bit. I hope everybody's having a good Friday night. Welcome in. Good to see everyone. Happy Friday. Big shout out to my members and subscribers. I appreciate you so much. I thank you for making the channel work. I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you are a member or subscriber and you recently placed an order, when you get your box, make sure you double check your box for any extras that I might have thrown in there. As a big thank you for being a subscriber or a member. Member on YouTube, subscriber on TikTok. I very much appreciate it, and I did some bonuses for people. All right, there's our UFO shape. Okay, it just looks really cool. Okay, next step. So this is where it gets crazy. We have to actually attach it here and on the other side. It's going to create this, what I call the lollipop effect. And this is what actually creates a spiral in the marble. Okay, we're going to attach it right there. Pull it down. Make sure we're looking good. It does look like a lollipop though. Oh my God, I always say that. It just really does. All right, last little step. I'm going to try and show you this. So at the end right there, you can see that little nub right at the end. That's a little clear section. If I left it on there, it would kind of wreck the color that's underneath there, the amber purple. It'll leave this one little dot. And this color looks good without that. And it would just kind of look like it's out of place. So we're going to go ahead and remove that little bit of clear here before we go any further. Think of like a little cleanup session here. There we go. And there's our lollipop look. Now I'm going to try and flip it around so you can see that electrum kind of popping through there. Yeah, it's not showing up as much right now. Maybe I can shine a light on here. Let's see if we can bring it in. Oop, there. Now you can see that reflection coming through there. And then on the other side right there, it definitely got the amber purple and the reflection. It looks very metallic-y. Very metal-like, like liquid metal. Okay, next step, we're going to punty up to here. Right directly opposite. And I'm going to focus all the flame right in the middle. We're going to come down a little bit on the flame size. And I'm going to focus just in the middle. Like that. This is going to take a second. So the point of this is going to be I'm going to elongate it out. And then when I push it back together, we will end up with this cool little spiral in the middle. It almost looks like one of those hypnotic spirals, the black and white ones you see all the time, like a Twilight Zone, just like that. What's up, John? I saw your comment about the Mountain Dew on the video. I agree. These wine glasses need a Mountain Dew. All right, just a little more. You can see right down here the hot spot running right in the middle. We are cranking away. And it's starting to get gooey. And if you're new on here, the flame is running about 4,000 degrees. All right, now you can see we're stretching it out. Right there. All right, now I've elongated it back out. So we went from like a round to kind of like a, I don't know, tic-tac shape. And here's where the magic begins. I'm going to start pushing it back together and we're going to get the spiral. And then right after this, we're going to start applying the goblet cups onto the wine glass. We're going to put one on each end of the marble here. You can see we're getting a nice little twist. Pushing it together now. This is where the magic begins to happen. Okay, I got one side pretty well completed. Everything's blended in. I got to go, this finger I'm tapping is where I got to go to the other side. Oh, thank you very much for the let it cook. Let them cook. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is one of those builds that it was like, it's really not a matter of can I build it, but should I build it? Is it too wild? Is it too crazy? I don't think so. It's a wine glass you've never seen before, hopefully. All right. We're just about done tapering this down. I'm going to pull this little section off. We're going to clean up the end, make sure that spiral is completely tight and looking good and no wobbles to it. And from there, we're going to start assembling the wine glass. Oh, there's the rod I'm looking for, right there. Here we go. Oh my God. So I have to show this spiral just because it's so freaking amazing. I'm going to have to show it. We'll bring it out on camera. Here we go. Wait for it to cool. And you'll start to see that, just that beautiful, remember I said a hypnotic spiral? I'm a huge fan of spirals. If you've ever seen my channel, I love these. So the first step is we're going to come over to the marble mold and we're going to flatten it down. Not all the way flat, still going to have a dome to it. But I don't want it completely round for the wine glass. I kind of want it like this one. You can see from the side it has a little bit of a edge to it. I want that edge on there. Ooh, that glass was hot. We're going to give it a gentle push. About like that. And the reason I do like this portion is it allows me to flare the marble out a little bit, and you're going to get more of the spiral look. I'll show you in here in 30 seconds or less what I mean by that. This is the main focus right here. That super spiral is the focus, like that. And that is why I flatten it, because you get more of that transitioning through. All right, so the next step will be to go ahead and make the rest of this. And I need to find the exact perfect rod for this, or it could be a problem. Yep, here we go, perfect. And I chose red and amber purple in here for the reason of red wine and white wine. Now, of course, you can have whatever you want to drink in it. You're not stuck with red or white wine. And I'm a little off center there. I got to recenter that up there. I don't want this off kilter at all. There we go. A couple degrees the wrong way and this thing fails. All right, so now we just have to do the same to this side. And smooth it out. What'd you all think of the, for those of you that have seen the chain goblet, what'd you think? I thought it looked pretty cool. I thought it looked pretty dang cool. I do have the goblet out here, so after I finish this one, I will show you the wine glass. And I did add a specific coating to the color, and that coating iridized the gold fume on it. It looks so fantastic. Okay, here we go. We're going to bring this down. Oh my God, both spirals are looking fantastic. All right, now the next step is just to get this one rounded out a little. Yep, I got a little close to the flame right there. I felt that one. I think I burned a little hair off. No need to pay for waxing when you got a big ass torch near you. All right, so let's go ahead and get this guy rounded out too. You can see the spiral. I may change this up just a tiny bit. I don't know if the center focus is tight enough. You can see it's really good in there, but I can do a little bit better. Give me just a minute to get this a little bit tighter. I think I can tighten that spiral up just a touch. The way you do that is you just grab it from the front Continue twisting, pulling a little bit off at a time. But I'm not going to go through this entire project, just to slack on this last little part. There we go. That's better. All right, now we'll get it rounded. While I'm preparing this, again, I'll show you the material my glasses are made out of. They're called dichro-style. And you can see right there how it's flaring out, covering up a lot of that orange flame like that. And that is how I see exactly what I'm doing. Little Boro vision right there. That's what I was working on yesterday. I'm trying to develop a camera that has the filter on it that looks good, and I can switch every once in a while so you guys can see deep into the flame without me having to hold that little shield up. Okay, we're pretty round. Let's go ahead and get it in the mold. Make sure I'm pretty even, which I am. Then we have to smooth out the edges where I put it in there. It does leave a little bit of this like funkiness. And there we go. Watch how much better the spiral looks. See how tight that is now? That little pinpoint spot, it just looks so right there. So that little kind of curvy tail is what I was shooting for. That's what was missing, and I wanted to correct that before we went any further. All right, so next step, I'm going to attach it right here, and then we're going to grab one of the goblets, get it ready, and attach it to the other side. Like that. I just need to keep it as centered as possible. Stay at a 90 degree. And bingo. Tap that off. We still got that little punky on there. I should be able to smooth that out though. It didn't leave any residue on there. And you can now see we got the tight little spiral right there too. All right, I'm a little off kilter, so I'm going to make sure to straighten this out before we go any further. I just have to bend this, let it center. Once you start the assembly, if it's a little off, just a little off kilter, the whole wine glass is going to be off. Before we go any further, I am going to use the light. We're going to shine it right on there. Oh, there we go. So now you can see the colors bouncing through. Look at that fun little spirally section there. Now this does have the uranium, the red, and the amber purple. Okay, I'm going to garage this in the kiln. And we're going to start the goblet. I got to move this guy out of the way, which is hella hot. I think I'll start with the larger end. So this is the wine goblet we're going to start with, like that. And just to show you where we're at, so this is what I'm building. Okay, we have a wine glass like this, but instead of the foot down here, this goblet's exactly like this one. We're going to put one on the bottom down here. So essentially, we'll have the smaller wine glass on the bottom and the larger one on the top, theoretically looking like that. It'll be very cool. We're going to go ahead and move that. And this is kind of that look I was saying. Sorry, we'll get to the assembly. I promise. Give me 30 seconds. But you can see how we got that spiral in it. That's what gave me the inspiration for it. And then this, I believe, has the uranium in it too. Just like that. So you can see the uranium popping in there. This glass is available for purchase, by the way. That is one badass goblet. If you're looking for a cool glass, that would be one. For this, I am going to use gloves. And it's not because the glass is hot. I worry about the cups shattering on accident. And if the cup is a little bit hot and it shatters and that piece of glass falls on your hand, it will stick. It doesn't fall off. And then you got a pretty nasty burn. And I do not want that. All right, so we're going to start. I got to start by taking this little nub off here. That's a very slow process in the beginning. We got to heat it up very slow. So we're just kind of building heat into it all at once. Start out way at the back of the flame, and then as I get closer, the whole thing starts warming up. But if I threw this right here into the fire, it would shatter. It would absolutely shatter. And this thing's so big, it's hard to hold. This cup is ginormous. You could probably fit half a bottle of wine in this thing. I think it'd make a cool whiskey glass too. Or bourbon or whatever. I don't know, I don't drink alcohol. What do they use, whiskey or bourbon? What are the big decanters? Oh, it'd make an awesome wedding gift. Absolutely, Rena. Yeah, it'd be a great wedding gift. You could call it a his and her cup too, or a his and his, or a her and her. Of course, she would have to have the bigger side, because she has to put up with the guy. Need all the alcohol to put up with the guy, right? Am I right, ladies? Need a little extra to deal with the guys sometimes. I would be one of those. All right, a little bit more to trim off. We're almost there. Ooh. And I think that's it. We're pretty close now. As close as I want to that edge. So again, the filter, this will be a really good view here. You can see through the filter how the flame is just kind of dying out in there. All right, let's grab our marble central here. Do the first of the fusing. Tighten it down just a little. I don't need that flame doing a side swipe up the cup here. All right, here we go. Make it or break it. Okay, we're going to make sure we're fused all the way in. All right, we're good. Now I just have to pull this end off. Now normally I would build this in 2 stages, but because we're on live stream tonight, I got to do it all at once. Normally I would let this cool, preheat this little back end, and then come back at it. But so far, this is where we're at. We got to put the bottom on, but you can see we got that beautiful little spiral on there so far. I'm not going to flip it around. All right, just kind of sitting in my kiln at the moment. This is the part that is the one that is going to be the scariest. We got to go ahead and remove this little marble right here and do the same thing, and then this cup will be all done. I'm excited. Now, I don't make the cups. I am very upfront about that. I have a friend that has a glass-blowing lathe that can make these and keep them all in the same size. Am I capable of making a cup? Yes. But is it worth it for me to do it time-wise without a lathe? No. So I have a friend that makes these cups for me, and they can do a much better job a lot faster. And that is why I want a glass blowing lathe, so I could do it myself. That's why I'm on the hunt for doing it and having my own lathe. And right now I don't have the room for one. I have to sell my oxygen concentrator. All right, so we got to pull this off again. Very slow process in the beginning. And I don't like this little marble at the end. If I attached it with that little marble, it looks really goofy. It just doesn't look like it belongs. So I got to trim it all the way down. But when they have it on the lathe, that's the holding rod for making the cup. So that's why it's on there. All right, a little bit left to go. God, this cup is so small compared to the other one. This is about the normal size wine glass right here. The other one's gigantic. It's enormous. That's it. A brandy sniff. A brandy, is it sniffer? That's it. That's what it reminded me of, a brandy glass. Like one of those brandy glass. That's what that cup reminds me of. I couldn't think of it. Like I said, I don't drink alcohol, so I always lose track of what's what. I just I don't like it anymore. Not worth the punishment of the next day. All right, we're almost done here. Just have a little bit more to take off. I'm going to move this out of the way so that when I get done with the glass, we'll center it right here. Just a little bit more cleanup. Uh-oh. I hope that didn't fly on the cup. If it did, it's going to crack it. There's a little piece of glass that flew off, and I'm hoping it didn't land on the cup. I don't see it. But if it did, it would definitely crack this piece. All right, that's it. So there is our little cup that we're going to add to the bottom of the glass right now. Make sure I got enough space to be able to smooth it out. Bring it back out. All right. Now comes the hard part, centering it. Okay, just a little maneuver. Pull this flame way down. And that's it. There we go. All completed. It's kind of cool. So it doesn't matter which side you put it on. It's definitely going to be a cool drinking glass. Now that was fun. All right, let me go ahead and do my TikTok capture here because it's being angry. Oh, seriously? You guys, sorry YouTube. TikTok makes me do this stupid captcha thing all the time. Does that look cool or what? Large or medium? That kind of, Colleen. Red or white. It can be red or white wine. It also is a his and her. So the hers is definitely got the bigger goblet. Hers would be bigger. This is the actual goblet size difference. You can see the two cups right here. This is the bottom of that cup, and then this is the top of it. You can see the diameters here. Definitely much bigger. And then this is the chain link glass we did the other night, a couple nights ago. And I want to bring it out. I don't know if you guys can see it's iridized now. It has an opalescence to it. And there's the chain link. This one is also available for purchase. This is an amazing freaking glass. I like this one too. But both of these are available for purchase. If you are interested, message us at TheFieryGuy.com and I will make sure they get to you. Yeah, they're both pretty awesome. Both of these are good, but the one I just finished is pretty damn cool. I like the one I just finished. You need both ends. That's what I'm saying, Colleen. You need both. You get it. I think I just snapped it. I did. Holy crap. All right, we're going to fix. I think I just broke it. That sucks. Well, now I get to fix it. That was weird. I think I hit it. I think it hit the hot spot. Make sure this one didn't do the same. Okay. Well, anyways, I get to fix that one now. So we'll heat that one up and fix it in just a minute. Not a big deal. That's an easy repair. Okay, so I do have some stuff that I want to repair or go through tonight. So we made this rose the other night, and I did iridize this one. So you can see there's a little opalescence on the gold. And I want to build a little vase for it tonight. But it definitely has a little opalescence to it. So this one has opal. And this pen also opalescent. Oop, there. See how shiny it is up on the top? And that's the opal coating that we can put on it. I don't do it that often, but it's kind of cool. I like that. So let's finish this pen off while I'm waiting to heat that glass up and fix it. I'm going to bring this down and make this pen into an awesome little pen. Remember I was saying if you vacuum seal the glass, see how it just formed a bubble? That's because this whole thing is vacuum sealed. It makes these little bubbles. So when it's sealed, it heats up and then it does that. That's why you see me, when I make the pens, I always have that little hole in there. That's why. We're going to go ahead and make this for the ink insert. Oop. Got a little hot there. Luckily, I have Dragonfly's little tool right here. So this is one of the pen tools that Dragonfly Creation makes. If you're a glassblower and you don't have this, you're missing out, especially if you want to make pens. It just makes the perfect fitting. Like that. I got to grab this off the floor though before it gets all damaged. And there we go. So this pen is done. This one's all completed. I'll let that sit out. We'll pop it in the kiln in a little while. I definitely have some cleanup stuff to do here. Yeah, let's go ahead and trim this. Let's trim this down. I don't know if I have any tubing up here. Uh-oh. Oh, I do have tubing. We're going to make a little mini vase for this flower. So I'm going to leave this here. We'll make the vase, and then I'll cut off the flower according to the vase. It's a big piece of tubing for it, but it's the only size I have on hand. We can just shrink it down. You guys get to see that process. Dragonfly's handy dandy tools are amazing. That'd be a good name, Dragonfly. Dragonfly's handy dandy tools. All right, let's go ahead and build a little mini vase. Then I'll assemble that other glass here in a second after I finish this. It should be warm enough by the time I get to it. And there we go. A little ooey gooey. What's up, Josie? All right, so we're going to take this and turn it to a mini vase. Normally I have a little thinner tube to work with, but I only had this up here, so we're going to use this. We're going to spiral some colors on here, mix it all up, and turn it to a little mini vase for this flower. We'll cut the flower off according to the size. And then that'll be available. So this, again, this has that opalized coating on it. It's an amazing coating. So after I get done making the piece, I actually have to apply the coating to it and fire it back in the kiln so it bakes onto it, kind of like ceramics. I don't do it that often because I don't like double firing that stuff. All right, we're going to smooth this down a little bit, add our color, and pull it to a little mini vase, baby vase. There we go. So we'll apply all the color around the outside. Give it some funkiness. And I have my electrum over here. There it is. We're going to use the liquid metal glass on here. like that. A little love funkiness. What did I bring out today? Oh, I have an extra rod of amber purple. We're going to do that. Your amber purple? Or are you clear? You're acting very clear. I know I brought out an extra amber purple. Unless it went wacky somewhere. Alright. That does not appear to be amber purple. So we're going to go method number 2. We're going to fume it. We'll apply gold to it. Match the flower. And there's my gold. So if you've not seen gold fuming, this process is very, very cool. It's a method of heating up a little tiny chunk of gold, vaporizing it onto the glass. Hence coating it or plating it with pure metals. Just got to heat it up very slow. And we'll start to bring the gold over, and it's going to coat it right now. Basically gold plating the glass tube via the flame. And it'll be nice too, because that's how I did that flower. We did gold on there. And like magic, it does that. So now you can see it has that golden sheen to it. And it's like magic. And we're going to go ahead and grab, I'm hoping I have one little nugget of, oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for. We're going to layer this right down the middle of all of it. Then we're going to grab one more that's a little bit thicker, which is this one here, and go in between all those lines. So some of these lines will be really thick and some will be a little thinner, creating a multi-faceted look to it. Right now it's looking like a watermelon. Got 4th of July coming up. Watermelon sounds hella good. Okay, so now you can see we got everything kind of striped around like that. It created this kind of corncob watermelon look to it. That's the beauty part right there. I like that. Next step, we're going to take the bottom end of this off. shape out the little mini vase, and I think I might put a big old chunk of cobalt on the bottom. We'll see how it looks. All right, I need to get it, so I got to let it droop down a little bit. It's not quite right yet. Hey, Fritz came to say hi to all of you. That is Fritz, my giant schnauzer in the background, coming to say hi to everybody in the live stream. Fritz is a amazing giant schnauzer. Yep, see, he's agreeing with me. All right, all I have to do is center this up. And so on the bottom of this vase, we should have this little spiral look to it. I'm going to bring it over here so I can bring it out to the camera and show you guys. So on the bottom of the vase, we'll have this little organic, flowery looking spiral like that, which is kind of cool. So not only the top of the vase is going to look good, and the bottom will also look good. And there we go. So the next step, we're going to heat here and pull it into the mini vase. Going to taper this flame down a little, and here we go. So one of the little tricks I use for this is I do not have this entire piece buried in the flame. I'm only skimming the very top surface of the flame, not all the way in. And the reason for that is I could control the surface area a lot better from the top, as opposed to trying to heat it all the way on the inside. So you only use the top portion. We'll bring it out, and I'm going to create that little spiral to it as well. So right now it's kind of twisting around. I'll bring it out and show you guys in just a second. Oh, that electrum looks good on there too. I think this is the first time I've done it this way. Need a little bit of space here. We'll flatten over in this section after I blow it out. So now we're just going to heat this bauble, blow it out a little bit, and then flatten it on the surface. Make sure we have a nice flat surface for the vase. A little bit more. See, it constantly wants to wobble. Okay, let it cool for a second. Give it some air. Like that. So now we have a little bit of a round bottom. It is pretty thick at the bottom because I want it to be weighted down. Then we'll heat it up and smash it down. Well, we're gently going to push it. We're not going to smash it. This style mini vase is very Italian. It looks very Venetian. When Stephanie and I went to Italy, we went to Venice and Murano, and I saw this style and I really liked it. And then we went to Pompeii and I really saw some ancient artwork from Pompeii. And that's when I kind of fell in love with this style. All right, so the little tip and trick, you go right in the center, push it in just a little. So you push a little bit on the bottom down here. What's up, Uncle Mert? How you doing, Semper Fi, my friend? So we push it in a little, and you can see it kind of has that little dome on the inside. You ever notice like a beer bottle, wine bottle, they all have those domes on the inside? The reason is so that when you go to heat it up or you go to flatten it, it hits all the way around the edges. And you don't have to worry about it high centering on the middle. And that's why you push it in just a slight bit right there. Then we'll bring this out. You're definitely going to see some color bouncing through here. Can you see that shimmer in it now? We got that golden color to it. Oh man, I really like that. This is very Venetian. Yeah, this is really Venetian. And next step is we got to open the top up. Got to make it into a vase. This step right here that I'm about to do is one of my favorite techniques on the planet. I never get bored of it. It is called a flame cut. It is a process of heating up a little bit right in here. You expand the air into here, creating a little bit of a bubble that is paper thin, almost like cellophane. And then you could use that to cut it and open the top up. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Like that. Super paper thin. I mean, it is literally cellophane. You can see I can shake it and it moves around. And then we get left with the top up here. We're going to cut that open and make it look really nice. I never, ever, ever get tired of that. And we got to take our handy dandy scissors and make a cut. So if you didn't know it, you can cut glass with scissors. You can even use normal scissors. You don't have to specifically use these. Normal scissors will cut. These are a little better. They're called diamond shears. So you just come through and you just start cutting. That is very satisfying right there. And you cut it off really clean. That is a lot of fun. Very satisfying. It's always a good feel to do that. And then we have a nice clean edge on it. Now all I have to do is smooth it out. My holding rod's my claw tool's a little lopsided though, so it's making it difficult to make this super straight. Give me a second. Let me straighten it back out. There we go. There, that's better. Yeah, this is very Venetian looking. If you ever get a chance, go look at glass from Pompeii. There's a really cool piece that's It's well known. It's kind of an aqua color from Pompeii. When the volcano blew up, it covered the entire city. And for some reason, it preserved that glass perfectly. And it's a really cool looking piece. It is cracked, but I didn't care. It looked really cool. I so badly wanted to replicate that color. And there we are. We got ourselves a little mini vase, all completed. I'll bring out the shiny light at the moment. There we go. And yeah, very Venetian looking. I dig it. And that electrum just makes it look even better. And then I just have to take this. We're going to gauge it. All right. I just needed to see how far I needed to cut it off. And I got to be careful with this wine glass. It's going to want to fall out. Okay. We're going to trim this flower, and then I'm going to fix that wine glass that just broke. All right, there we go. So this flower will fit perfectly into that mini vase. This, again, is going to be available for sale. Just have to message me. All right, let's fix the boo-boo. This is the chain link wine glass. I think I hit it with a hot rod and it cracked it and the bottom came off in the middle of this live stream, which is a little embarrassing, but oh well. At least you know it's live and I'm not hiding anything from you guys, right? Okay, so we're going to reattach it. We'll flatten it right here on this spot. We're going to need this claw tool. I'm going to grab the bottom first, attach it, and then we'll add the wine glass back to it. $4,000 surgery. All right, good to go. Let's add this back on. This is our chain link. You know what? I might have messed this up too. Maybe I just didn't attach it right. It's very possible I boo-booed this one up. Make sure that sucker's fused on this time. Yep, there we go. All fixed. Like it never even happened. Perfect. That took a little space in there. Okay. What else do I have sitting here that I was going to mess with? I had a terrible day of breaking stuff. I broke my favorite pen. So we got to fuse that little... I broke one of the little thingies off. That was my fault. but this one will have to be preheated. So we're not going to mess with that at all. I don't have any other stuff to repair, so let's go ahead and make something new. Make sure that's not hot. There we go. I have a little uranium glass, some red, and let's make a fun, cool little marble. And I might do something with it other than a marble. But let's go ahead and make that up real quick. I've got the uranium glass here. If you have not seen uranium glass before, it glows under black light like that. Look how intense that is. So it has this really cool reactive. Even in daylight though, it's a pretty damn cool color. Let's go ahead and get this built up. We're going to make a kick-ass kick-butt marble. Sorry. I don't swear normally. I don't normally do that. Sorry. All right, let's get this uranium built up. We're going to add electrum in here, of course. If we're going to do it, we're going to make it look good. And I think I want to add the red. I kind of like the way that red was looking a little while ago on here. So uranium, electrum, and red. Going to fuse all this uranium in here. We'll build it up. Now this is looking fantastic. We got this. We got this. All right, while I'm doing this, if you guys have any questions, fire away. While I'm making this marble, I do have an opportunity to answer some questions if you have any. Yes, I use borosilicate glass. Borosilicate glass is commonly referred to as Pyrex. Pyrex is a brand, not a type of glass. But if you're not in the industry, you wouldn't know that. A lot of people refer to Pyrex or borosilicate as Pyrex, and you just don't know any better, and it's okay. How are you supposed to know that? All right, this is that liquid metal glass. Okay, it looks really funky in its normal state. It kind of has a little shimmer to it, but it gets very dark. I mean, really dark. But once it's melted in, it has this really bright metallic-y look. And I dig it. So we're going to add red on top of it and create a candy apple red right now. So once I put the red on top of this, it'll be candy apple red. On the other side, it'll be uranium with that. And the uranium's going to have a shimmer as well. So we're going to butt this red right up here. And then I'm going to try and do a traditional, like kind of what almost looks like a cat's eye marble. This will be a marble that resembles like 1930s, 40s in that era, where the color is deep inside and you have a little spiral on the inside of the marble, not on the outside. So we'll try and bury it deep inside, create a little flat spot, and give it more of that traditional antique look, but with a modern twist of these colors. We'll make it look very antique-y. So this red is called pomegranate. All of the transparent reds I use go completely clear when they're heated up. It's referred to as a striking color. And what happens is, as it soaks in the kiln, the color will start to bring itself back out. It strikes into its color. But while it's in its working state, it goes completely transparent. which is kind of fun, but it also makes it very difficult when you add clear to it to be able to tell the separation of clear versus the red. So you got to be careful and kind of know what you're doing. We're going to go ahead and fuse that in. Now, because we're doing the color on the inside of the marble, creating that antique look, this doesn't have to be super big. All the color will be flattened out on the inside, and then we'll spiral it from there. And again, while I'm working here, I'm going to cut the flame down a little bit, makes the visual much better. My glasses are made of a material called dichro lenses. Dichro filters out certain light spectrums so that you see that bright flame, and we can get that. This is one of the best views you can get with the little mini flame going, and you can see how much it filters out. That's exactly how I can see what I'm doing. Without this, I wouldn't be able to do what I wouldn't be able to see it. It would make no sense to me. Now, back in the day, before they had dichro, glass blowers back in the day used cobalt glass as the filter. Cobalt can act as a filter. It's not perfect, but it does work. In fact, I might have a little cobalt here. Let's see if we can get it to show a little bit. This might be too dark. Might be too dark. Yeah, it's hard to see through that. Well, at least I tried. But yeah, cobalt glass acts as a filter as well. Okay. So this is sandwiched on. Again, I call it the Oreo cookie method. So you stack the color like Oreo cookies. You got your little Oreo cookie center, which is the electrum in there. And then we got the uranium and we got the red. Now the end that's super bright right there is the red. Unfortunately, right now it's in its transparent state, so it's very difficult to spot. In fact, you can see the end of this rod is completely clear, like that. All right, next step, we're going to do what's called a punty up here. We're just going to butt it right up here. So we got to add a bunch of clear to this side and a bunch of clear to this side. We'll smash it together, and then we'll stretch it out and spiral it. Because there's going to be clear enveloping the whole piece, the color on the inside will create that cat eye antique marble look. And that's what I want to have happen. I want to create that antique-y look. We're going to separate it here. And I'm going to grab a bigger piece of glass that we can use right off. And there we go. They're a little bit bigger. And we're going to start building up the layer on the outside. We'll start that process right now. Now let me smooth this out just a touch. I don't want to trap any air. How hot is the flame? The question is. It is 4,000 degrees. Actually, it ranges between about 3,800 and 4,200 degrees Fahrenheit, give or take a couple hundred degrees. It really depends on how well you set your flame as to how hot it is. Too much oxygen reduces the flame temperature, and not enough, too much propane will also reduce the temperature. It has a perfect mixture to get it right. Now the odd part is my torch, while the flame is 4,000 degrees, my torch is ice cold. And I mean ice cold. It's like putting your hand in a freezer cold. And I can demonstrate that here in a minute. If you have a torch equipment, don't do this at home though. This is for educational purposes only, to show you what this equipment does. We'll separate it there for just a second. But a lot of people ask me why I don't wear gloves. A, the glass doesn't transfer heat at all, but the equipment itself is not hot. You can literally grip it like that, and it's actually cold. And you can have your fingers centimeters away from the flame, and it's not hot. I feel no heat, none whatsoever. Total trip, right? Yeah, it's about roughly 4,000 is my standard operating temperature, 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. It wouldn't push much above 4,400 unless I used a substance called propylene, which is a chemolene and propane mixture. Then I could get it up there. But standard propane and oxygen, you're looking at 4,000 degrees roughly. Nope, no odors in the room, nothing. The only odor I get in this studio is when Fritz farts, my dog. If he comes in here and lets one loose, then it gets very bad. If Fritz tears one, it's bad. That's about the only odor I get in here, the Fritzy odors. All right, so right now we're putting a lot of this clear on here. Again, I want to sandwich the color in the middle. So we basically have to completely envelop this thing in clear. But yeah, Fritz is the bomb. Fritz is my stink bomb in here. And Fritz gets, what do they call it? Like handmade food from like the farmer's dog. So Fritz gets all natural foods, and that's even worse. He puts out some serious octane of funky smell. All right, so we're putting a lot of clear on here. How long have I been doing this? I have been doing this 32 years full time. I started at about 8, just kind of dabbling, because my mom is the one that taught me how to do this. My mother is the first person in the family to have learned how to do this, and she learned all on her own. She started when I was 2 years old. But I didn't take it serious until about about 23. At about age 23, I decided that I wanted to do this as a career. So I didn't really start going full time until I was, 23. It's like a little bit older I got, the smarter I got. I was like, maybe my parents didn't have a bad idea there. Okay, so we are making a cool marble. This marble is going to be very old world look, not a modern style. So the older marbles have all the color on the inside, where you see the little spirals on the inside. We're replicating that look right now. Kind of like an antique style. Now, I'm not sure that this was the method that they used for that. Got a bug. So I can't guarantee that this is how they produced them. I just know how I can produce it to replicate that. How long can I work on making before it hurts the eyes? It never hurts my eyes. The glasses are very filtered. So again, I'll bring this out. This way, I'm going to use a small flame so you guys can see it better. So the glasses I use are called dichro-style, and you can see here, we now filter out. See, the top of the flame is almost gone. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't hurt at all versus that. And that's why it doesn't hurt at all. So when you have proper eyewear, you won't have any eye strain. But there, you can see just how much I can hide of it. like that. See that? Pretty cool, right? I told you. Yeah, of course. I love sharing the process. If you have questions about the process, fire away. Making a marble, a pretty standard item for me, so I can answer questions right now. It won't affect me making the item. All right, so now we have to add clear to the other side, and then we'll start the process of making the marble all the way. Excuse me, I'm getting hiccups. It is specialized, but I can tell you right now, there is no age limit to start this process. I'm actually going to create a video. I'm working on the script right now for it, which is going to be titled "Start Glassblowing at Any Age," you know, even as a senior. What did my dad do for a living? This. Yes, I am adjusting it with my feet. Yeah, I have foot pedals down here that turn the torch on and off. That is correct. Yeah, my dad was also a glassblower. So both parents were. But my mom was the main person that did that. Your 2-year-old's watching? Awesome! Well, tell him, what's your 2-year-old's name, Waylon? What is your 2-year-old's name? Please put it in chat so I can say hi. I love saying hi to kids. It's a nice setup. Yes, it is. I love my setup. Okay, so we're adding a bunch of clear on here again. Sorry, while I'm going through there. Harley. Hello, Harley. Thank you for watching me. I appreciate it. Hello, Harley. I love it when kids are watching. Because hopefully we can inspire a new generation to do this. But anyway, back to the main subject that I was talking about. You do not have to be a certain age to start. You do not have to be a certain age. Like, I know plenty of people that started doing this in their late 60s and 70s. And to be honest, if you are retired and you start this as a career, you have an advantage over somebody that doesn't. Because you have time. How am I with an implosion? Good. I can do implosions just fine. I actually have an implosion marble over here that's actually pretty cool if you want to see it afterwards. Yeah, I have a cool implosion marble. It's a little different implosion, but yeah, it's the same thing. All right, almost there. I almost have enough clear on here. That red has disappeared again. And a few more seconds. There we go. Any age. Yeah, you can start this at any age. Honestly, yeah, with arthritis, you can definitely do it. To give you an example, my father was 100% disabled from the military. The guy behind him in Vietnam stepped on a landmine, and my father took the brunt of it. And he was able to do this as a career. So that gives you an idea. You know, in fact, one of the pieces of scrap metal went through his knuckle, and he couldn't move his finger, the middle finger, all the way. But my mom was the main person. Yeah, we're making a marble right now. So right now I got color sandwiched right in the middle. We have it's kind of like, think of like an Oreo cookie. Okay, I thought this was going to be a smaller marble, but you know what? It's not. Oop. I'll just use this all the way out here. There we go. this marble got a little bigger than I wanted, as normal. Let me just move some stuff out of the way. There we go. A little bit further. There. But yeah, you can definitely, you can start this at any age. And like I said, if you are currently retired and you want to start it as a career, I hate to say it, but you will have an advantage over somebody that has to go to work every day, because you have time to practice, you have time to learn. Whereas someone that's learning this and has to go to a job will have a much harder time finding time. Doesn't mean you can't do it though. All right, so we got kind of a blobby here. We're going to go ahead and smush this blobby down. Try and keep my hand away from the flame. And there. Now we got kind of like that UFO look. I got to switch a rod to the other side, do the same thing on the other side, get it that same round section there. And then after that, we'll attach a rod here, one over there. We'll stretch it out, push it back together, and we'll get a cool color. Now, one of the things that I used was a glass called Electrum in here. And it has a very shimmery color, almost mirror-like. Watch, 3, 2, 1. See how much it's reflecting? It looks very opalescent, marble-ish, liquid metal. And that is the Electrum right there. This marble's cool though. It has the Electrum. It also has uranium glass, which is a blacklight reactive glass. So it'll glow under blacklight, but you don't need a blacklight for it to look very cool. You do not need a blacklight. You can do it without. It just looks cool. All right, so we got to put a little punty here. 3, 2, 1. Baby punty right there. Burn this end off. We're going to round it out just a little bit back in that mold, and then I'm going to switch the axis. Now, this is where I was saying the color should be on the inside, not the outside, on the inside. So we're going to go ahead and get that all set up now. My bench is getting crowded again. I got this, see, this is that big ass rod. I don't need that right now. Let's just get it out of the way. You too. Too big. All right, we're going to clean this up. We're going to round this out same way. It's going to look amazing. Going to look fantastic. I can't wait to get this one done. It's going to have that old world look to it. Kind of like a semi-cat's eye. That's actually close enough. I don't have to get it super perfect right there. This is the uranium side. So this has the uranium side facing outward now. You can see a little bit of that green hue to it. It has a little green. The Electrum's also showing in there. But that's the uranium glass. There's a lot of it in here. And we're going to go ahead and start making the marble now. Bring it out. Half the battle's getting the color to do its thing. And this is the lollipop mode. Looks very much like a lollipop. Who doesn't like a lollipop, right? What's up, Jimmy? Oh, and we got a little hitchhiker on there. I call those hitchhikers. They remind me of a little hitchhiker. There we go. Off you go. And here's the red. Now, this is where I was saying I love this particular color on the Electrum. Watch this. We're going to have candy apple red. I got to lean way over. Look at that candy apple red look. Can you see it's just candy apple red? It's freaking cool as hell. I love candy apple red. Oh, and you can see the uranium. Sorry, one more section here. So there's the uranium side. You can see the green with the uranium. And there's our candy apple. So this is going to have just a interaction of fun freaking colors. Now we can finish it up. And there we go. Nobody does this in East Texas. Jimmy, I bet you I could find people in East Texas. I don't know where Dragonfly's located in Texas, but I can tell you Dragonfly's in Texas. But I guarantee you, you have people in East Texas. Texas has a very large population of glass blowers, 100%. You have the same flashlight? That flashlight is kick butt. Yeah, it does have a UV light on it. That's my everyday carry flashlight, the O-light. It's probably the best flashlight I've ever used in my entire life. Yeah, that's what I said. Texas is loaded with flame workers. Anybody know where the largest population of flame workers is? Mexico has a lot of glass blowers, and a lot of good ones. Mexico has fantastic glass blowers. I get pissed when people knock Mexican glass because it's freaking good. Mexico knows how to blow glass. They are really good. Dragonflies in north central Texas. Oregon. Yeah, Oregon is Oregon is the largest population of glass blowers. Specifically, Eugene, Oregon has the largest concentration of glass blowers. Followed by the Pacific Northwest, which is where I'm at. We are up in the PNW looking for Bigfoot. I'm looking for Bigfoot. Bigfoot and UFOs. I'm happy as hell up here. Yep, I'm in Washington. Looking for Bigfoot and UFOs. I'm in the perfect spot. Hippies love blown glass. I'll guarantee you CEOs love blown glass. Like a lot of actually a lot of tech people, a lot of tech people buy a lot of 420 stuff. I'm just telling you right now. Don't think they don't. The only difference is they hide it. They hide the fact that they do. All right, here we go. We're going to stretch this out. So we pull it down. So that little spot right there, that pulling down, is what's going to allow me to get the spiral in here perfect. As I start to push it back together, it is naturally going to start twisting and spiral. It's going to create its own natural little spiral to it. Like that. So we elongated it. As I push it back together, it's going to slowly start to turn. And we're going to get that beautiful little spiral in there as we start compressing it back together. I'm not even forcing it to spiral. You can see it's already starting to do a little bit, and I'm spinning at the same pace. Both hands, same pace, same time. And as I start to compress it, you can see that spiral starting to develop right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. You can see that spiral just developing. Now all the color is buried deep inside this marble. The clear on the outside is magnifying the color on the inside. So it looks like there's a lot more color in here than really is. It's very much similar to like a millefiori chip. Millefiori are the little flowery chips that you can put in glass, and you put a clear coat over it and it magnifies it. And there we go. Now you can see the spiral developed all the way in there. Like that. So I'm going to start compressing it down together a little bit on the two ends. Then I'm going to try and tighten up the spiral just at the very end. So here we go. Now this part, I am forcing the twist. Okay, I am initiating the twist at the very end here. Take it very slow. Keep it all centered. Then I'll pull this one off. We're going to bring it back out. I'm going to show you what the spiral kind of looks like right now. I have to clean it up a little, but you can see we got that nice little tight spiral starting to happen in there. Now for the very tip of it, I need to pull it off. So I got to get it spinning up and then slowly pull it off so that spiral gets tighter and tighter and tighter in the center up here. So we're going to go ahead and slowly start removing some glass, getting that little tip closer and closer. So we get a nice little termination at the end. I'm going to go ahead and heat it up, and then I'll show you how much we actually got in there. I love sharing the process, so if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask, okay? I love sharing the process. And there we go. There it is. Did you guys catch it? One more time. God, I'm really close to my camera. Holy moly. There we go, right up to it. Keep your eye on the front. There it is, that tiny little dotty spiral right there. How much does it cost in glass and gas to make these marble? I don't know per marble, honestly. I can tell you what my gas bill is per month. I gauge everything on a monthly basis. I keep an inventory on my glass. I know how much I go through in glass, and I know how much I go through in gas But the glass is the hard part. Some color, like this shimmery electrum color right here, that one that's creating all that mirrored effect in here, it's $180 a pound. So that is $180 a pound for that, versus this cobalt that's about $20 a pound. So it's really hard to gauge how much each individual piece costs. I wouldn't be able to go through there and figure out how much I used of each stick. You just kind of have to guess. But yeah, at $180 a pound, it goes fast. You can spend a lot of money real quick. Real freaking quick. And this is almost the same type of marble that we did on the wine glass a little while ago. So when I started the stream, I built a wine glass that has, so like this wine glass here, it has a cup on the bottom instead of a foot, a small cup. So you have a white wine cup and a red wine cup on the top, or a brandy, or for me, I'd put Mountain Dew in it. I love Mountain Dew, so my wine glass will be filled with Mountain Dew. All right, we're going to start the marbling process here. So this little graphite mold down here is just that, graphite. Basically high density pencil lead. It's one of the few materials that will not stick to glass. So it works really good for tools. The only drawback is it's extremely fragile, just like a pencil lead. It will break very easy. All right, we're going to bring it up here. There's our little spiral. Give it a second. And maybe it's not going to show as much at the moment. Couldn't bring it over fast enough. Okay, so we got half a marble done. Gonna put a rod on the other side and finish the other side up. But while we're doing that, where did I put my super marble? Here it is. So this marble right here is what's called an implosion. You can see it kind of has that galaxy look to it. Looks like a little mini galaxy in there. That is one of my implosions right there. That is an implosion marble. What's up, Christy? How you doing? Good to see you as always. Thank you very much, Christy, for the headphones. I appreciate you. Okay, here we go. We're going to put a little rod to the other side. Got to let it cool off, and we're going to spin this up, create that tight spiral on the other side. I'm kind of excited to see this color. I don't think I've put red and uranium together before. I don't think I've done that combo ever, which is odd, considering how many times I've done this stuff, how many items I've made. I don't think I've ever put red and uranium together. All right, this will be a good spot right here. I'm doing good, Christy. Thank you. All right, so I'm going to show you what the spiral looks like before I tighten it up. And then after I get it tightened up, I'll show you the after effect too. So we're going to heat it up. This is before we do anything to it. You can see it has a very loose looking kind of spiral action right there. I just wobbled my marble a little bit. There we go. So again, one more time. Bring it out here. Not much to it. It looks okay. It's not bad, but it's not super fantastic. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to heat it up, and we're going to force that spiral to come back. And create a nice little effect on here. So we've got to heat it up. I'm going to let it drip down, kind of like a teardrop. Just going to let it drip down, teardrop it. Grab a little rod here and just start twisting. Then I'm going to keep pulling it closer to the center, bringing all that color in, and we'll remove the excess. Almost done. Hell yeah. This came out exactly like I wanted. Let's heat it up. I'll bring it over. I'll show you the after effect now. Remember what it looked like before, and here's what it looks like after. So bring it right up to the camera there. Give it a second. And there's the little mini spiral starting to take effect in there. So we just tightened everything up. It looks really good that way. How much money does the glass balls cost? It depends on which one. Do I consider myself an expert master of the craft? I consider myself knowledgeable. I have a rule of thumb. I don't call myself an artist necessarily. That is your guys' job. I had an old school glass artist. He is an artist out of Mexico, of all places. He was very much a guy that I looked up to. And when I introduced myself to him the first time, I said, you know, I'm a glass artist too. And he said, no, you're not. And I was like mortified. This guy just crushed me instantly. And he said, only people that see your work get to call you an artist. And I was like, oh, okay. Then it made sense. So that's up to you guys. That's where the artist term will come from. Unfortunately, I do have to describe it as an artist in certain arenas. But for the most part, that's your guys' job. Oh, this is looking so good. But yeah, that was a valuable lesson that, you know, he taught me. Only people that see your work get to give you that title. But I consider myself very knowledgeable. I've, you know, been doing it 32 years. I invented the very first glow-in-the-dark borosilicate glass, which is a Pyrex type of glass. So before me, glow-in-the-dark did not exist. You had uranium glass that was blacklight, but not a glow-in-the-dark. So my contribution to the glass world was I invented glow-in-the-dark borosilicate glass. That is my claim. Thank you, Robbie. I appreciate you. And this guy's just about done. It looks freaking amazing. Let me polish it up. I love teaching. I love showing people how to do this. It's so freaking fun. Watching someone progress is like a super cool thing to see. Speaking of which, if you're not following Dragonfly Creation or Grove's Glass Gallery, they are also lamp workers and fantastic. They're doing a wonderful job. I highly suggest you follow them. They're past their quote-unquote learning phase, and now they're expanding into different parts and different fields. Oh, look at that shimmer. But you can see how deep the color's buried in here now. This just looks freaking fantastic. But I would highly suggest, picking them up and watching them progress. If you've ever wanted to learn about glassblowing, there are great 2 channels to watch, because they are still somewhat learning new techniques, and you get to watch progress. And then we got Red Squeak, who's also a mod on here, who's doing a fantastic job with photography. And, photography's an art. Very much is. Okay, this is how you get the marble off of the rod. This is called a marble holder. Dragonfly Creation makes these wonderful tools. And you grab it, and to get the marble off, we go 3, 2, 1, tap. And it pops it right off. And then we just have that little tiny mark right there that I just have to polish out. Give it a second to cool off right there. Catch it from the other side. So Dragonfly makes these tools. Dragonfly is making a lot of cool tools right now. Especially if you're a glass blower, you definitely want to get to know Dragonfly for the tools, especially. All right, we're going to take that. I got a tiny little blimp of bubble. I'm just going to go tap, 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 and that's it. And there we go. Definitely contact Dragonfly. Makes this tool that I'm using right now. It's an amazing tool. I don't know what I would do without this, to be honest now. And there's our color bouncing in. Bring it right up. You can see the colors. Look how deep that color is now. You can see how much clear is in there. That's what I was saying. It's an old world style, which is awesome. Uh-oh. I'm out of space. Oh, crap. My oven's full at the moment. Okay, with that being said, I am going to call it a night. I am going to be on tomorrow morning for sure. So make sure you hit the follow and subscribe button subscribe on YouTube and follow on TikTok. But I will take a few minutes if you want and answer any questions that you may have. So while things are heating up in the kiln, if you have questions, fire away. I'll spend some time with you guys answering glassblowing questions. I'm happy to do that. If you have questions on glassblowing, I'm happy to answer. I'm going to make room in the kiln in between it. I appreciate you making comments. I appreciate you taking the time to make comments. I do, honestly. All right, I got to make some room in here. Oh my goodness. How am I going to get that back there? Okay, we're going to put it right back there. Boy, I had to make some room. How long in the oven? So the oven, it'll stay in the oven overnight. it's going to go through the tempering process. A marble like that, normally I would want to leave in there at least 2.5, 3 hours, but it'll sit overnight. It doesn't hurt to have it sit in there overnight. You can't overcook it, if you will. Oh, thank you. Salmon season. Oh man, it is salmon season. Thank you so much for that kind comment. How many rods are in a pound of glass? It depends on the size. A standard set of rods usually comes in about a 7 to 8 millimeter size like this. 20 inches long, you get about 20 of them. So 20-inch rods, 7 to 8. Is this a purple flower? Yes, it is, Christy. I made a little vase for it too. Let me bring it right up. See if it'll focus. Focus. Come on. Focus. There we go. Yes, I put an opalescent coating on the gold. So I did opal on top of the gold with this. I'm going to try and shine the light on it. I get as far as I can. It has the gold hue, but yes, it is purple with opal on top. It's very iridized. It looks very old world fashioned. It has just this unique look to it. Yeah, this one's awesome. I don't normally do the opal on stuff. And we built a little mini vase for it. The telescope project will be fun. Did you send a photo of it? Yes, I make a decent living from glassblowing. Correct. If you do it right. Is glassblowing expensive? Yes. I'm not going to say it's cheap. Yeah, of course you can ask what the oven is. The temp is 1100 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. Why did I choose this career? I started because of my mother. My mother started when I was 2 years old, and I decided that at about 23, I would do it full time. I do have some new designs in the woodworks, Christy. You know I do. Yeah, I've got some cool stuff coming up. Yeah, it was either this. At 23, I was deciding between doing this as a career or becoming a pastry chef. A dessert chef. You know how they build like Cake Boss, that show, The Cake Boss, where they build the really outrageous cakes and stuff. I was debating on doing that too. I thought that would be a cool career, but I chose this because I had a really good in with the fact that my mother had been doing it 20-something years. You're in East Nahomish. Oh, nice. You're pretty damn close then. Yep. I'm up in the Marysville area, Arlington. Can't swap for dollars and stay. Exactly. Can't swoop for dollars and stay in business. Yeah. No, this is a good career. I will tell you, though, if you start this as a career, and I'm going to be very blunt with people, if you think you're going to go in making 420 products and do this as a career, forget it. That market is dead in the water. You either have to already have a name in it, or you have to develop something that no one else has developed. But it's a very cutthroat business. I know a lot of people that start this thinking they're going to make that stuff and they're going to make a fortune, and they end up not doing it. They end up selling their equipment pretty fast. But yeah, you know, that's one market I would say, if that's your only goal and you don't want to learn the actual art problem or art part of it, don't start. I'm just being 100% honest with it. I appreciate that. I try to be good. I always say if I get 1% better, I'm happy. I always say 1% better, then I'm happy. So every item I make, if I can do it 1% better, I'm happy. Like the wine glasses, we worked on this tonight. I love this one. It's got the uranium, but I think the one we did tonight was just as nice. You can see the uranium glowing in there now with the green. Oh, maybe this side will show it a little better. There's our uranium. So that has uranium glass popping through it. This is a gigantic wine glass, though. I mean, honest to God, you would take up half a bottle of wine in this thing. It is monstrous. That thing is obnoxious. You really have to like wine. Yeah, Chinese glass is dirt cheap, but it's going up in price too. Chinese glass is definitely going up in price. Their quality has gone up too, though. Their quality's gone up enough that they deserve a price hike. You know, I think the Chinese glass is doing fantastic. Not the clear. The color, yes. The clear, not so much. What's the toughest kind of design to make in glassblowing? That really depends on the person. Like, I cannot make a horse to save the life. I can't make a horse. I just can't. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried. I can't make a freaking horse. But there are tons of people that can make a horse. It's really, you know, A, you got to love what you're making. And B, you have to kind of be able to see it in your head before trying to make it in glass. And that's why I can't make a horse. I don't know what the horse body looks like. Decided on a date for the new dagger. No, but we can put it in the... Yeah, I haven't decided on the date for the dagger. We can do it this... we can do it in July. Yeah, we can make it July. But yeah, toughest design in glassblowing is the one that, you know, that you're not comfortable making. Can you do characters in marbles? Somewhat. Basically with a Millefiori you can, but yeah. Ruby, we made a double wine glass. So I made this style wine glass. Where's my other cup? Did I have the other cup here? Did I lose it? Oh yeah, I put it in the kiln, sorry. So basically I made it where there's a smaller version of this, and I basically fused the two cups on top of each other, a small one and a bigger one, white wine and red wine. And so it's a flippy cup. It's a flippy cup. So for those of you wondering about the dagger that John is referring to, I'll pull it off the wall. Maybe I can get it. I think I locked it in there though. I'm not sure. There we go. So this is the dagger that John is referring to. So we're going to do a new build of this guy. This is the dragon dagger. I'm going to change it this year. And instead of the claws coming off the side, I'm going to do wings coming off. And then we're going to add in a dragon spine to the back. So I'm going to do a dragon spine and wings coming off instead of the claw. But there is the dragon dagger. One side has a matte finish, one side has a polished finish, and all glass, total blade. Yeah, like that. It's about 19 inches total on this one. But we're going to build a new one this year. I got to park that way off to the side now. I got to hang it back up the wall later. Yeah, the dragon dagger is going to be cool as hell. I can't wait for that one. It's definitely going to be a 2 or 3 day project though, because you have to build the hilt on one session, you have to build the blade another session, and before you put them together, you got to line them up, let them cool off, line them up, make sure the blade is proportionate to the hilt, and then you heat it back up and pop them together. And so it's a 2 or 3 day build. So we'll build it in a series. We'll just do it a dragon series. That'll be fun. The dragon series will be a lot of fun. Might make 2 or 3 of them. Somewhere behind me I have a 4-foot sword. It's literally 4 feet. All glass. Melissa, thank you so much. Yeah, I do say I am a creator. I definitely create some stuff. It's not fun to be in my head at times. I'll tell you, that's the hardest part. I have so many ideas running through my head, and I don't have an opportunity to make them all. That's the part that sucks. I have so many ideas. I just don't have the ability to make everything. Yeah, Dragon series will be fun. I think it'll be a good experience. But the Dragon Dagger will definitely be part of that series. It'll be a 2 or 3 day build. We'll have to build it in multiple sessions. I try my hardest. Yeah, I do try. But there are certain things I don't do. A lot of people have asked me for certain requests, and I don't turn them down because I don't want to do it for them. It's because I know that I wouldn't do a good job. So I don't make crosses right now. I don't make a cross. I don't make any religious item, because unless I can guarantee that that item is going to look absolutely stunning and not be an embarrassment to that religion, I don't want to make it. Same thing with like military emblems. I want to do an eagle, globe, and anchor really bad, but I'm not going to make an eagle, globe, and anchor that would embarrass the Marine Corps. So those are things that I look at and I say I wouldn't put it out there if I thought it was going to suck. And you would think a cross would be very easy, but it's not. I don't know if Gene's on right now, but he sent me a design for a 3-nail cross. And I'd never seen a 3-nail cross before, and I want to make it, but I'm not going to make it if I think it's going to suck. And that's the hard part. You have ideas, you want to do it, but you don't want to. I don't want to offend any religion or race or organization that has a specific emblem. That's the hard part. When you turn people down, not because you don't want to do it, because you don't want to do it poorly. So, does that mean no Jesus seals? No, that's a whole different thing. I don't know why they even name it that. I don't call it a Jesus seal. I call it the impossible seal. Thank you, KCH. I appreciate you. You have a good night. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow I have some fun stuff planned for the stream. I'm not even going to reveal it. If you're a member, I'll probably put it in the community tab. By the way, if you're a member, I did, on the community tab on YouTube, I did give you guys a little perk. I'm starting to use that. So a U.S. flag, I do a version, like on my Patriot pens, I do what I call a loose flag. It kind of resembles a flag flying in the wind. And I don't think it's embarrassing to do it that way. It looks really good. So it's a pen that looks like it's kind of flying in the wind. But to do an absolute spot on, I'll be on tomorrow night as well, Christy. Yes, you bet. You know I will. But to actually make a true flag, no, not right now. The stars would give me a problem. What's something in glassblowing that is easy to make yet looks stunning? Honestly, hummingbird. So this is an example. Now this one's a little more ornate than what you would start off with. But this hummingbird is the very first thing I learned to make that was sellable. So I would start making hummingbirds. They sell all the time. Okay, every glassblower can make a hummingbird, and there would still be more customers than glass hummingbirds available for people. I got you, Christy. So I would recommend starting off with a hummingbird. Again, I think it has 5 characteristics that are really important to learning glassblowing. There are 5 aspects to it that if you can master the hummingbird, you can master a lot of different animals. Mushroom pushes are pretty easy, but yeah, and everybody does love them, but you kind of want to make sure you also are a little unique. But I recommend a hummingbird. If I was going to start glassblowing today, I would start with a mushroom for plant stakes and mushroom ornaments. I don't know if I have one here. I don't see one. I would start off with a mushroom and then graduate to the hummingbird. You can combine the hummingbird with mushrooms and basic flowers. That's the route I would start. Yeah, if I was going to start with blown glass, I would probably say Christmas ornaments would be the very beginning. Christmas ornaments would be like, for blown glass, the start. They can be a little funky and still be cool. But I can tell you this, and this is a fact. If you're going to start glass blowing and grandma says that she's going to buy all your work, don't believe it. Your friends and family will buy so much in the beginning, and then you're going to be out on your own. So don't count on family and friends to support your business. You need to be able to rely on everybody else. Family and friends will want to buy one or two items, and then they're going to get sick of buying it. Don't gauge your business based on family and friends. That is an absolute must. Depend on the actual customers out there that see your work and want to buy it. Family and friends will not. They'll support you a little bit, but that won't be your career. You collect ornaments? Awesome. We do glow-in-the-dark ornaments. I don't have any ornaments. I just cleaned my entire bench area. I don't have any glow-in-the-dark ornaments up here. Yeah, unfortunately. We got the chandelier behind us. That'd make a kick-butt ornament. Maybe I should make a full-blown tree. That would be cool. I wonder if I could do that upside down and make a tree. That would be kind of fun. Yeah, make a full-blown Christmas tree out of glass. But yeah, I don't recommend depending on family and friends for your business. They may promote you or help you get the word out, but it will not be the basis of your business. And take it from me, I mean, it's just 32 years of full-time glass blowing. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs. I've been through almost every situation you can think of. COVID almost broke me as an artist. COVID almost broke me. I almost gave up during COVID. That was like my lowest point as an artist or in the arts of glass. COVID was just devastating for me. I had my business rocking. And when COVID hit, I had to completely shift my entire business. We were doing in-person glass blowing experiences. So you could book a time with me, come in for 2.5 hours and make an ornament on your own with my guidance. But mostly you did it. And we were booked for an entire year, completely booked up through Airbnb experiences. And when COVID hit, Airbnb shut down all experiences, and my business went from booked for a solid year to zero. I literally had no income overnight. Could you use your glass to fume that other color onto other glass? No, you can't use it to fume onto it. We would mix it. I have you all set up, Chris. I've got you. I got you, my friend. We're going to make your piece look awesome. But yeah, COVID just about broke me business-wise. You need to book time. You did, Dragonfly. You and Terry need to get up here. You definitely do. One weekend with me and you're going to be blown away. No pun intended on that. I did bounce back. So that's why I actually started. So COVID hit and I started live streaming on TikTok. And at the time, Instagram was the big bad boy for glass blowers. But I couldn't break through Instagram. Everybody was already popular. And I was starting too late. So I jumped on TikTok and everybody was laughing, saying it's a kiddie app. And I just pursued it anyway. And sure enough, everybody that was laughing is now on TikTok. What's up, Dale? How you doing? It's kind of funny. Because everybody that was laughing about not being on Instagram and going on TikTok is now on TikTok. It's like karma coming back. But yeah, I started on TikTok live streaming and had a great time. TikTok is a great experience builder. And then we shifted to YouTube, and YouTube, I got monetized financially in 41 days on YouTube, which was pretty unheard of. But we got monetized in 41 days on YouTube, and I've not looked back since. I have an Airbnb. Airbnb has this thing called experiences. They still do now. I still have my account, but I'm not doing experiences right now. But yeah, so Airbnb, you could book a experience of going to eat food or learning how to cook or take a tour of the city or learn glassblowing for a couple hours. Airbnb did all the promotions. They covered the insurance. All that stuff was great. But when COVID hit and they basically canceled the year of bookings, it was a lesson learned that I had all my eggs in one basket. And I absolutely, like I said, it nearly broke me business-wise. It absolutely. Alien pen. Where is I think I took the alien pen in the house. That thing is freaking awesome. I don't know if I'm going to sell that. I'll put it up for sale. You guys have 48 hours to buy it. If no one buys the alien pen, I'm keeping that thing. It's freaking cool. I love the alien pen. Yeah, I'll put it up on the website. I'll put it up there. You have 48 hours. If not, I'm keeping it. It's freaking that badass. I would totally keep it. Yeah, the alien pen's good. I do want to do an alien thing. What do you guys think? Should we do a full-on space nerd alien theme? What do you think? Should we go alien one week? Do like alien week, like Shark Week? What do you think? Should we do an alien week? I think alien week would be cool. Yeah. I'm totally into it. I'm always outside looking for UFOs out here. I live in an isolated area, so I could definitely see it outside. You didn't see it when I finished? It looks really good. The alien pen is so freaking cool. Yeah, we'll do an alien week. Let's schedule it for July 4th week, maybe. Let's do alien week around July. We'll book it in. I'll put it on the community tab of YouTube. Yeah, we'll do a community tab YouTube alien week. Am I Steven Spielberg? No. I unfortunately, if I had Steven Spielberg money, my background set would be looking freaking gnarly. If I had Steven Spielberg money, you guys would be having a full-on different experience. Trust me. Yeah, I love sci-fi stuff. I miss the show The Expanse, and maybe we'll do something from The Expanse series. I'll create some stuff off of your favorite movies and shows. In fact, I will put it on the community tab of YouTube. I'll do it tonight. I'll make a community tab. I'll list it on there. You guys go in and tell me what space themes you want done. Do you want Star Wars, Star Trek, Expanse, Twilight Zone? You tell me what you guys want to see built, and I will build the streams around that. 100%. Oh, speaking of Galaxy, might as well show this thing because someone was asking earlier about it. So here's one of the implosion pieces. You can see look at that. This is like my little mini galaxy in here. And then the back end kind of has that spacey theme. I don't know if I put uranium in here. No, I did not. But anyway, yeah, I love this piece. These marbles are available to you. Again, I might throw this in the marble grab bag. So if you guys are up for marble grab bags, definitely hit that up. I don't know if I have another one. I don't have another marble up here. I just cleaned my entire bench area. Beg for an ET if you were Steven Spielberg. Exactly. Yeah, if 3/6 don't know how that got there, I don't know either, Jimmy, but it's okay. Ooh, a black hole marble would be kind of cool. You mean from the movie, Chris? Like from the thing? Yeah. Forbidden Planet. Oh, no kidding, Dragonfly. No wonder I like Terry. I love the Forbidden Planet. I think the Forbidden Planet is probably one of the top 3 sci-fi movies ever made. I love Forbidden Planet. It's still a relevant storyline today. It's timeless. I mean, the the sets are a little goofy, but it's still very, very relevant today. Yeah. I love that movie. That movie's freaking fantastic. All right. I'm going to call it a night. Go onto YouTube. Under my channel, I will have a community tab. What's up, Gene? How are you? I was just talking about you and your three nail cross. We were just talking about it. You tried to buy from you several times. No one ever got in touch. Jackie, I would love to sell to you. Trust me. Did you hit the website? If not, go to the community tab. I'll message you. I got you. Yeah, we got it. So I'm going to call it a night, though. I'm pretty poopered now. Thank you for hanging around and taking questions, though. I appreciate it. And I will talk to you all later.